Welcome to Autism Tips and Tools, where we highlight the best practical guidance from previous episodes of Autism Knows No Borders. Whether you're a self-advocate, a family member, or a service provider, there's something here for you. I'm Rachel Harmon, a professional in the field of autism services, outreach, and advocacy. And the following clip is from a roundtable discussion with our Global Autism Community, featuring Autistic Self-Advocates Thomas Iland, Mary Johnston, Ryan Litchfield, Jeff Snyder, and David Sharif, and community moderator Kia Burden. In this discussion, the community members shared their special interests, which ranged from fan fiction to painting or traveling. Here's Tom Iland talking about how his special interest in Batman helped him accept his autism diagnosis and overcome hardships.
So I think my special interests have been many and even evolved over time. Thinking back to when I was a little kid, I would watch Sesame Street a lot. And I even taught myself to program the VCR so that when it came on, I would record it and would rewind my favorite parts over and over again. And even to this day, I get a little bit of a kick out of Sesame Street characters. As I got a little bit older, I think maybe about 7, 8 years old, I started watching the 1960s Batman TV series with Adam West, and they had those captions like "oof" and "pow" come up on the screen to music, and I fell in love with that. And I liked Batman's gadgets and gizmos that he would use in fighting crime and wanting justice to happen in Gotham, so I really got into that. And as I saw Batman be made more and more in movies and in different versions of those movies, I also got more in tune as to the psychological and personal transformation that Bruce Wayne made as he embraced the monster, if you will, that was Batman, and related that to my own journey in a sense that I had to sort of be the hero in my own life because I too was finding struggles. I too had difficulties seeing the light in difficult situations. And I found myself asking, what would Batman do here? And he's the kind of person that would use his mind to find a way to overcome the problem or outsmart his enemies. And I decided to take on that philosophy and really find ways to be more intellectually and academically up there, kind of like what Bruce Wayne would do. And I found that to be very beneficial and even in some ways helped me accept my diagnosis because it was devastating when I first found out that I had autism. But then I thought, what would Batman do? He would find a way. He would overcome obstacles in his life. He would be an example, be that person that people look up to when they're struggling or looking for hope. And that's when I dedicated myself to being my best self so that others could become their best selves too. I heard someone say Star Wars earlier. I was also into Star Wars and still am. I first got into it when I was a teenager. They released the special edition 20th anniversary version of the movies in theaters. I'd never seen the originals or the classics, so I saw like a special virtual or increased special effects edition of the movies. It wasn't until later that I saw like, oh wow, I can really see the comparison now as to the classics versus what I first saw. But I still fell in love with like the lightsabers clashing and the battle of good versus evil and the idea of diversity and different alien species that were featured in these movies. And that really got me hooked. And I continue to watch like the movies and the TV series spinoffs like The Mandalorian to keep that sort of special interest alive and see what can continue to come of it. So those are some examples of the special interests that I've had over the years, at least on a consistent level. The most recent one that I have sort of obtained, if you will, in wanting to be my best self physically, mentally, psychologically, and some of you might know this from previous podcasts, but I've recently taken up Ironman triathlons. And this is a very, very complex endeavor. And I have to train my body. I have to train my mind and be able to manage pain. I have to make sure I'm eating and drinking the right stuff regularly and making sure I'm doing what I need to do to prepare for what's a 140-mile race in less than 17 hours. It's no easy task, but I think with my Batman mentality and believing that I can make it happen and that it's going to make an impact and show other people around the world that someone with sensory sensitivities, physical pain, but grit and determination as well can make things happen.
Thanks for tuning in to Autism Knows No Borders. Would you like to hear the rest of the group talk about their special interests and the role they play in their lives? Follow the link in the show notes for the full conversation. And if you'd like to share your own special interests, we'd love to hear from you over in our online Global Autism Community. Sign up today at community.globalautismproject.org. Let's work together to transform how the world relates to autism. Thanks for listening. Take care.